Doctor, look.
Stand aside, nurse. I'm Dr. Homebrew.
Stand clear.
Okay, let's do it.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Dr. Homebrew. This is yet another holiday episode, holiday beers. Mainly so we can charge beers to Justin, but more importantly, you know, it's 8 days or whatever till Christmas. I don't know when this will be out, hopefully before then, but maybe not. Even if you miss this show and you don't know what to bring to holiday parties because they're already over, go to Bevmo, go to Total Wine, go to your local liquor store, whatever, and look for some of these beers that we're going to be talking about today. Because these are pretty good winter beers, holiday beers, stuff that you might not think about for winter. Some that you might, I don't know, some that I've never heard of before. So we're going to be running through a little bit, and we each kind of have different stuff. We have some similar that we can hopefully talk about, and we have some that are totally different. So it's just going to be kind of like a what's left on the shelf that you can bring to a party, or, you know, what might be fun just to kind of see what we can make into, you know, what we can make out of like the winter warmer kind of style. Because there was a time, let me tell you a little story, you guys. There was a time when in the winter that you just had winter warmers, which are just basically like, you know, light barley wines or whatever. They're just like big malty creatures.
Strong, brown, malty,
and that's
rich.
An imperial-ish stout?
Yeah, right. And so it's kind of evolved as everybody's drinking patterns and drinking habits have evolved as well, and kind of our concept about what beer is and what a winter beer is. And now it's just a festive beer. Maybe it has a weird label or, you know, whatever, something different that people do. So I'm excited to try some of these, and we're kind of just going to do it on the fly. It's kind of just going to be like the Dr. Homebrew Christmas party.
It's kind of like when Charlie Brown's friends went to Charlie Brown went to the Christmas tree lot, and there was like a twig left, and that was his tree. And that's kind of like maybe these beers. Maybe with a little bit of love, they'll grow into a big, beautiful Christmas tree.
We'll see. But
aluminum trees and
it's going to be informal, and we're just going to be hanging out and drinking some of these beers, and we're going to be talking about them a little bit. We're going to try to stick to as much of like style guidelines as possible, because we do want to bring some sort of information to the shows, and, you know, we can kind of talk about where they would land and give them a score, give some tasting for sure. It's not just going to be three guys sitting around in different locations drinking beer. We are going to give you some information. So, don't worry about that. But for now, what should we do? Cooper, you're the guy who usually drives what we drink and when. What are we doing right now? What should we drink?
Well, for me, nothing screams festive holiday type beer like a good West Coast IPA. So I chose, no, this is actually just one I picked out because I wanted to buy it. It was very fresh, and it's a ghost town West Coast IPA called Purgatory with Nelson, Experimental 586, and Simcoe hops. That's 7.1% ABV. And it smells wonderful, and
I love how this is the
fresh.
The winter beer show, and the asshole comes with an IPA.
When I go for Christmas, I don't bring any of these other things we've been tasting. I bring IPAs.
When you go for June 3rd, you bring IPAs. Like, of course you do. Yeah. Well, at least at least go through. Is it piney? Is it can we relate it back to anything at all? Pretend you have to file this in your taxes.
Yeah. So it's, the Nelson to me oftentimes lends a diesely tropical character, and here this is pretty light, but it's got kind of a New Zealandy quality to it. Yeah, the Simcoe can give a little pininess. It's got a piney essence. It's not, it's more definitely on the modern side of American IPAs, on the stronger side as styles. This style creeps a little stronger. Maybe in the future it'll go lower again. I don't know, but it's nice and dry. Light golden color. It's fairly substantial amount of haze to it, actually, which is forgivable in an IPA. So top haze, but you can see through it. It's not completely opaque at all. It's normal IPA haze.
You know what? I saw at the store today. It fucking pissed me off. It pissed me off so much that I took a picture and I sent it to Warren so I can complain about it. But it is let me see. It is a juicy Hellas. And I fucking knew that you you East Coast fucking losers were going to try to permeate into some bull crap like this. And, you know, it was bad enough when we started getting hazy pale ale. That was bad enough. But juicy hell, what does that even mean? I hate it. I hate the mere thought of it. Sorry.
Oh, that's cool.
All right. Well, what do you think as far as a West Coast pale or West Coast IPA for like a Christmas time? Is it ticking the boxes for you, Coop?
You know, it could be a good beer for, you know, hanging out with friends, having conversation, and it'll get you nice and toasty pretty fast. Whatever your relatives are saying, it just kind of floats by and say yes.
Yeah, I love it. All right. Okay.
So
Shar.
IPA, perfect for the season.
Okay. Shar, you and I have, I think, maybe more similar beers. What are you opening? See, that's what I was going to start with too.
I have opened this Two Towns Cider House, the Bad Apple, Imperial Apple, made with meadow foam honey, alcohol 10.5%. So this is a big fella. And I was looking at this. I'd like to take the cider exam sometime. I'm a bigger fan of cider than I am of mead. And the mead exam maybe I'll take someday. I'd like to take the cider exam someday and at least get certified for cider. And I'm looking at this, and it's probably a C2A or C2C, probably a C2C apple wine. The term for this category is traditional, but possibly misleading. It's simply a cider with substantial added sugar to achieve higher alcohol than a standard cider. And the honey will do that. And it's kind of a mead / cider mix, right? It's got honey and sugar. And it's not marketed as a Christmas beer per se. It has kind of an orangey red label. It's something different. I like Two Towns, what they do in general anyway.
They are, let me tell you, they are nice dudes. They are salt of the earth. They make good cider, and they're just chill. They're chill people. We love a Two Towns, man, for sure.
Yeah, and we talk about getting people on the show. Maybe we should get them on the show.
Yeah,
that might be a fun.
They've been on the session, I think, at least once, if not twice.
Okay.
But yeah, they do some good stuff, man. They have a big space, and they're just really chill, mellow people. I like them a lot. So there you go. What it's worth.
But, you know, this is aged on Oregon oak, and it's not
white oak.
White oak. Excuse me. Yeah. I was not specific enough. You really get.
I don't know that it matters, man.
It's not tannic, not rip your face off tannic, but you definitely get that tannin from the white oak. It's flavorful. It's
a Chardonnay-esque thing, you know, that white grape Chardonnay, where if you get a really nice, refreshing, crisp Chardonnay, you can sort of taste the oak a little bit on the back end, where it just kind of cleans up the sweetness, but it's not dominating at all. It's not overpowering.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what this reminds me of. Just a really, really actually, if you're a wine drinker, if you're a white wine drinker, this is the cider for you. This 100%
that's a really good
would
point.
do it. Yeah.
It's less alcoholic than wine.
Yeah.
And you could this is something I could see fermented in stainless and spent a little time in oak.
Yeah.
And then got bottled.
Yes. I 100% agree. And I wonder how it would be warm. I'm going to leave some of it out to Chardonnay temp. But yeah, this would be, if you're a white wine lover and you want to try to get into cider, this will do it to you for sure.
I really like this beer. I mean, this cider. This is it's something unusual. It's something different. You know, we've talked about, you said, Jason, at the beginning of the show, that what we think of as a winter beer, quote unquote, has changed over time. Yeah. And I would consider this a nice winter beverage.
I think so too, man. It is warming. What I like about it, it's tart. There's an acid to it. Yeah. That's more so than like sometimes you can get these sort of like tart Chardonnays. It's more than that. But there is a nice little lovely apple hit at the end that cleans everything up. But it's that tartness to me that kind of struck me off guard at first.
Yeah.
Like a really nice sour apple, right? Like a nice Granny Smith. But deeper apple flavor than that.
And this C2C apple wine, these style guidelines say it comes closer to a white wine than any other style. Boom, you're totally right.
Yeah, there you go, man. Locked in.
I wish I could have found a bottle of that. You guys I only found the Outsider. I'm not going to probably open it. It's like a big can, but it's called Outsider.
I almost got that.
I thought you did get it. I got it. So Cooper, I got it. I have it right here. We'll open it up on the next round.
You guys should drink that.
All right. Yeah, we can do that. That was only 5%. So
they had a bigger bad apple at the Bevmo, but I thought, nah, we don't need to get the double imperial cider.
Yeah, they do a lot with it too, and I'll be honest with you, I haven't had too many ciders from there's not a lot of cider makers that I like. I think a lot of cider makers, for me, on the West Coast, they do, we do the American thing. I'm just going to be a nationalist for a second, where it's like, it's high alcohol. That's what we're trying to go for. We're trying to cram as much alcohol in it. I like a European cider. I like a French cider. It's like more typically lower alcohol. There's way more flavor. There's a lot of there's more flavorful apples, I guess. But what I like about what Two Towns does is they don't chase necessarily the ABV. It is about flavor and drinkability. And this has that. So if I was ever going to try some of these like imperial ciders like this is, or anything like what you were saying, Shar, I would trust what comes from them to be good and not just an experiment of how much booze can I fit in this. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So that's my take. That's my hot take on that. Yeah, I like it. I feel a warm, man. Like whenever I'm exhaling, I feel that alcohol volatilizing just coming out through my esophagus, man. I can feel it. I feel like Iron Man just drilling a hole into my chest.
You got an arc reactor made of cider inside your chest?
Dude, insider. Yeah.
Yeah.
Insider chest.
Record number of entries.
That still stands the funniest thing I've ever said in my entire life.
Yes.
I like it. What do you give this, Char? Let's grade it a little bit real fast. Why not?
I'm not a cider judge.
No.
But I like cider.
Yeah.
I would say, looking at, it seems like this would fall in the C2C category. I'd give this a close, like a 35, 38.
I'd hit it a 40 easily. Yeah.
I wouldn't dispute you on that.
Not having the guidelines in front of me for it, I can't imagine that it's going to be very different. Actually, that's really stupid to just give it a score without even seeing any sort of parameters for it. I don't know. I like it. I'm impressed with it. I think it's
I get
easy
this,
drinking for 10%.
This is why at the judging table you want to have people drag you higher on beers that should go higher. I think you're right about 40. And having that sip just then and that white oak hit me, like, man, there's no off flavors. There's nothing bad about this cider. There's only good things. And maybe it's not perfect, but I'm not sure what a platonic ideal of a C2C apple wine is. But man, if this is not close to it, I think you're right. This is probably closer to a 40.
I see your 40 and I raise you to a 42, even though I haven't tasted it.
Yeah. That's your outsider, Brian.
Yeah, see, there you go,
all
man.
right.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm gonna pick nits, I would say the alcohol burn is a little hot. It's a little hot. It's a little hot for me. And there's I want a little more apple. I want a little less green apple, flavor, and I want a little more flavor apple in there. Just a fucking touch, man. Just a touch.
I can see
probably pulling the alcohol back. Yeah, I would do that too.
And I like how the honey there's honey there, but it doesn't overwhelm the cider.
Right.
You can kind of in the very end, the very finish, you can get a little honey character, but it's not a mead. Excuse me, because meads can be, to me, kind of cloying and just not. Coop's like laughing at me. I'm you can tell I'm tipsy from this 10%.
He's dying over here.
All the gas belching noises coming out. I hope this gets edited out.
I'm kind of gassy right now. I'm not gonna hide it.
No.
I'm gassy.
He's just letting them fly.
Yeah, me too, man. Sorry.
Brian's belch just now was just like, did you like play that back on repeat? It was just like it had a it had a musicality to it. It was like,
you know what, Cooper?
Could that be in our intro?
For someone who has combined more hair than Shar and I do, allow us a little bit of time to be old, please. Okay, we might not not look really young, but but let us off gas, please, for the love of God.
Coop's got Captain Pike's Strange New Worlds hair. He's got the Pike's Peak going on there, and that's. And I say, good for you, man. Good for you.
Yeah, good for your genetics. You don't off gas. You have hair.
I will off gas on you, brother.
You'll
shit!
All right, well now it's getting weird, man. All right, well, good stuff. I like this. I think this is fun. This is a good cider. Yeah. Good pick, Shar. Good pick.
Thank you, sir.
Let's take a break. I don't know. Fuck it, dude. It's 15 minutes in. Who gives a shit? Let's take a break. We're going to come back, mainly because I want to go give this to Taryn before it gets a little too warm, because I think she'll love it. We're going to come back. I have at least 3 more beers here. I was corrected that we've already done the St. Bernardus Christmas Ale. But I have some.
Why not?
I mean, do you have it? Well, I mean, I guess I could. I don't know. We'll see.
I don't, but
we'll see.
Why not? Just do it.
Who cares? But coming back, we have anyway, we have more beers to try. So hang on, everyone. It's Dr. Homebrew. We'll be right back.
Now, back to the examination.
All right, thanks for sticking around, everybody. We are back. We're running through some Christmas beers. It's the Dr. Homebrew Christmas Holiday Party.
Just get your sleigh bells ringling, jing, something. There we go.
So, JP, you got the winter welcome ale, didn't you?
I do,
Sam
yeah.
Smiths?
The Sam Smiths, absolutely.
Yeah.
You want to pop that?
I think we should do that. That's probably the most festive beer I have besides the IPA.
Haven't we done that before?
Maybe.
Did we?
I don't know. Probably.
Maybe.
I mean, this is like one of the
classics.
Yeah. It's one of the more recognizable winter beers. I bet we have, but you know what? Fuck, I love a Sam Smith's. I am a sucker for Sam Smith's, specifically the nut brown, but their organic cider, they do an organic apple cider, is awesome.
Really?
It is very, very good. Yeah. It's expensive, but it is, as far as like commercial imported ciders go, it's very good. I definitely recommend it. There's nothing bad
from Sam Smith's.
Yeah.
Maybe if it's sat in the shelf for 2 years, it might get oxidized.
That's what I was going to say.
But there's nothing bad that Sam Smith makes. They're amazing.
Dude, no, and that's what I was going to say. The only bad things I have ever had from them have been due to storage. That's it.
Well, this was one, unlike the Santa's Butt and the Bad Elf that we had on the prior show, I didn't even look at the labels on those. I just assumed they were like spiced, horrible monsters of some kind and high alcohol. But this one I looked at, it's like, okay, it's, there's no spices advertised on this. It's a winter welcome ale, 6% ABV, brewed at Yorkshire's oldest brewery. A nice label, Sam Smith, their nice bottle with the raised lettering. I'm like, this looks like something I want to try. So I was enticed by this bottle.
This is the thing about this marketing. The label, it's like what I would call Prince purple. Right. That classic, what is it, like I think it's a poppy flower shape, but the concentric circles or whatever. You guys have seen this. There's the banners where it's very old school, but with like modern twists to it. It's a very inviting label. Absolutely.
English or Dickens-esque with the little bird and the lamppost, and then they quote Shakespeare on there. It's it just screams UK. This is UK beer. You want this. So I wanted it. And
I'm glad you did. I saw it on the list. I'm like, oh, absolutely, dude. And right now, if you see, here's the thing about doing these shows for so long is that you don't really know who your target demo is anymore. I don't know the age range of anybody who listens to this show. I used to kind of be able to guess, but there's so many new beer drinkers now. It's like, who fucking knows? So someone might be listening to the show and goes, who? Sam what? But now is the time. You go into any like big box liquor store. There are quite a few Sam Smith's gift boxes. And sometimes like in Trader Joe's, you can get them all the time. But like, go pick, if you don't know this brewery, please do yourself a favor. Educate yourself, please. Go get some Sam Smiths. Get these I would recommend pulling them get the gift boxes because it's probably going to be a little bit fresher than what you can find on the shelf. But get those for yourself. Treat yourself this year, people. Delicious. Absolutely delicious beer. If you get them on the shelf, they can be hit or miss, but again, due to storage, so you overlook that when you drink imported beers to begin with. Anyway,
so yeah,
sorry.
It's a limited edition brewed for the short days and long nights of winter. The full body resulting from fermentation in stone Yorkshire squares and the luxurious malt character, which will appeal to a broad range of drinkers, is balanced against whole-dried Fogel and Golding hops, with nuances and complexities that should be contemplated before an open fire. So, yeah,
I love that.
Good marketing there, and it matches what's in the bottle, so I like that. It is luxuriously malty. It's not like over-the-top sweet, sickly sweet malt. It's just right in that sweet zone. You know, tastes like, oh, okay, it could be stronger, and they could get away with it, but it's just that this, modestly strong 6%. That's fine. You could finish the whole bottle over the course of an evening by the fire and not fall off your chair.
Yeah, for me it does finish, and I don't know if this is the travel or oxidation or temperature. Maybe sometimes I get oxidation and effects from temperature blurred a little bit. So like the little raisiny or cardboardy can sometimes be confusing for me. But I think there's a little bit of that going on. I'm guessing it's heat damage more than anything. So I would want a little bit more malt, but can heat damage, that raisiny thing, can that drop the perception of a malt?
You can thin it out. Yeah. I'm getting
Okay.
a light little plum-like character in there, but I feel like if it was fresher, you would taste that more richly and it would accent the light sweetness. It's kind of in between sweet and dry. It's kind of just semi-dry, I guess you could say, or medium sweetness. It's not really sweet. It's not super dry, but it's kind of in the middle there.
So I'm on the Sam Smith website, which has amazing photos. Please go, because they do the Yorkshire Square. They do the open fermentation like Anchor, like a lot of people do, right? But they have a thing on their website. It says, "Run a Samuel Smith's pub," and it says, "We're looking for couples to manage our pubs, preferably local to the pub. In every case, a good manager's flat is provided rent-free with no utility costs.
Wow.
We prefer to recruit couples who haven't run a pub before and are from the communities near to where our pubs are situated." So I immediately regret reading that, but I want to apply. "We give full training at the brewery, including a personal license course. We don't charge for the training except £39 for the personal license course and £1,000 deposited fidelity bond in the all our managers are salaried.
Wow.
We require both managers to work full-time in the pub and have no other job."
So what part of the UK you guys all want to move to?
Dude, right?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I love that so much. That would be so cool. "It's the job of the managers to build up the trade by creating a friendly social atmosphere with conversation, pub games, and consistent high standards. We do not have music, TVs, or fruit machines in any of our pubs, which are like the gambling machines and shit.
Yeah.
No fruit machines.
No fruit machines. You cannot get an apple. We do not allow
No slot machines, no apples, no bananas.
We do not allow swearing and have negligible
God damn
trouble." Yeah, fuck.
That's going to be a problem for me.
Yeah, anyway, whatever. So they just stock Sam Smith's, beers. I love that. Anyway, I felt like I wanted to read that. Go ahead, please. Whoa, they have hotels. Bro, I gotta go. I gotta go to fucking England, man. Everyone Venmo me $100. Please. I need to go.
Need to reinstate the BN Army. We need some generals to send JP $100 each.
I need to get out of here, first of all.
It's not that expensive to visit the UK. Just go in the spring or the fall. Don't go in the summer.
Yeah.
That's what the airfares and hotels are the most expensive.
Bro, I can't even afford to go to Disneyland anymore. You know what I mean? Like I can't. Whatever. Anyway,
having said that, the hotels in the UK are probably cheaper than Anaheim.
You can go right now. You can go to Tokyo Disneyland for cheaper than you can go to Anaheim,
dude.
Which is amazing, right? Like that's fucking crazy. But anyway. What else can we say about this beer? So what style would this beer be? This winter welcome ale, Koopa Loop.
Well, it's kind of in the British brown ale territory, you know. It's it's malty, but it's not roasty. It's rich. It's not hoppy. You know, it's got a nice body to it. 6%. You know, yeah.
I'm seeing if I can. I'm getting on their website mainly to find.
Would be on the high end of British brown ale, but malty, caramelly brown British ale without the roasted flavors of porter, balanced and flavorful. Usually a little stronger than most average UK beers. I mean, it hits the spot there. Lightly sweet malt aroma with toffee, nutty, or light chocolate notes. Light to heavy caramel quality. I mean, this isn't richly caramelly, but it's leaning more towards caramel than anything roasty. It's just got a generic kind of medium dark malt note, English, toffee-like. But yeah, toffee is acceptable. Reddish, kind of a reddish color.
It kind of smacks
not brown, but
a little bit of like that English brown malt that I think Shar hates. There's a little.
There's
a little bit of
it's
that.
Lighter and.
Yeah, like English brown malt to me always tasted tart. There's a tartness to that.
Yes.
If you
100%.
use a little bit more than like what you probably should. And that's what I get here, but I don't know if it's the age or not the age, but the travel conditions and stuff like that.
It's like special B or vanilla. It's so sensitive that extra few molecules over a threshold is too much.
Yeah, right.
This is kind of a amber, a deep amber colored beer, and that's acceptable for British brown. It can go to reddish brown color, but dark amber to dark reddish brown. It doesn't need to be, bordering on black to be a British brown. So yeah, I don't know. That might be a good place to put it. It's on the stronger side, maybe on the lighter color side, but it's definitely not porter like or it's not a mild by any stretch of the imagination.
No. Yeah, it's what I think you're right. I think there's not much to say about it because it is.
Yeah, it's like it's not bitter enough to fall into the British bitter realm. So
yeah, well, and there's
very little.
There's not much to it, but what there is very good for this kind of weather. Sitting around the fire or just like, opening presents, you crack one of these open in the morning, you are coasting for the rest of the day. This is great. This is awesome.
And JP, I cut off the internet a little bit ago. Go on Orbitz and just look for SFO to London.
I'm not going to do that. There's no way.
It's winter time and spring.
No.
Frankly, it's probably cheaper than going to Anaheim. And Camera has a great book about pubs that have like accommodations over them or it's attached to them. And a lot of them are fairly inexpensive.
One of my favorite places to stay is, if going to the coast of Oregon, is the Rogue Pub. Because upstairs they have 2 furnished apartments to rent. And it's like $100 or whatever it is. Some of the best times I've ever had up there, man. I swear to God.
UK's got a lot of that. It's cheaper than Anaheim.
Yeah, I know. I'm not doing it.
So the Oregon coast, what we're gonna do is put JP in a canoe and get him to paddle through the ocean to get to the UK. No, but I stayed at the upstairs apartments at the Rogue in Newport on my honeymoon, and so
did nice.
Yeah, on the way up, we just did a trip up the coast, and we got married in Humboldt County, went to Mendocino to start, and then just drove up the coast and then ended up in Portland and came back. But yeah, stayed in that one. And they give you a Rogue beer in the
fridge. Yeah, dude.
Ready to go.
I can't imagine.
Just walk downstairs to get your grub and a beer down there and go back up to your room, whatever.
Now,
So,
at one point, we're gonna do a road trip up to the coast, up to Seattle. Maybe go see Warren or whatever. But definitely want to stop there. And
that'd be super fun.
Yeah, dude.
This year is going to be my 20th anniversary. So my best idea so far for how to celebrate that would be to repeat that trip. Start in Mendocino, go up the coast, stay at the Rogue Bed and Beer, go to Portland, stay at the old Kennedy School.
Dude, that place rolls so hard. I love that.
Warren texted me during the show, so maybe I'll go with you.
He did right now. What the fuck does he? What the fuck is he telling you?
We stopped again.
Okay. Well,
what's he telling you?
He's probably got a lot to say.
His internet.
I always look forward to his holiday cards though each year. He's always. Do you get his holiday cards, JP? Of
course I do.
Yeah. I have one hanging on my fridge. It's like,
what are you texting Brian Shar for in the middle of our show? ?
And making him hang up because his internet can only handle video, not text too.
This bro needs to get fucking wired. He needs to get a fucking landline. He needs to get a LAN cable, Cat 5 it up the fucking internet. Right. Okay, let's do.
What else we got?
We got one more break to go through, but I got 2 more beers, possibly 3. I don't think we need to go through all 3, but
we're gonna skip the Bernardus.
Yeah. Okay, let me do one. Let me run one myself. Okay.
Okay, do it.
All right.
We'll mute ourselves. And just let
you don't need to do that. This is from Prairie Artisan Ales. I thought they sold to someone else a while ago, so I'm kind of surprised to see them. Because they pulled back for a bit, and now I see them all the time when I go to Bevmo, which is nice, I guess.
At our holiday party, there was a couple of Prairie 4-packs with the glass in the middle. Like
nice.
Holiday set.
Cool.
And 2 people had the same at our White Elephant beer exchange for the Mad Zymergist party.
They have a lot of those at Willow Market in Menlo Park, at Willow and Middlefield.
Well, there you go. All our Menlo Park listeners.
What is the Prairie selection that you have there, Mr. J?
I have the Seasick Crocodile. And the can is great because it looks like a little ugly sweater, right?
Yeah.
The crocodile chasing Santa.
And the crocodile is actually kind of yakking a little bit, or what?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe, I guess. No, it's his tongue, I think. That's his tongue.
Yeah.
But this beer, so this beer is sort of what got me because it's, the holiday beer, right? It's a sour beer with cranberries, ginger, cinnamon, and nutmeg. And this is what I was talking about.
When they do a beer, they throw in a lot of different things. It's like, okay, you did the kitchen sink beer again with all these things in it. But then when you taste it, usually you get a little bit of everything that's listed there. It's like,
so that's unlike the cranberry drink that we had in that last show for that one beer.
You shut your mouth. That was a beautiful beer.
The Shiner Christmas beer, yeah.
Yeah. You know what? I remember when Prairie was around, they were on the session one time, and I do remember that their beers were very distinctive in that they were good with how they sort of made sure that the ingredients were represented in that way. So it sounds like maybe you and I are saying similar things. So
cacao nibs, coconut, chocolate, and this and that, and vanilla, and you get all of it. So
the color is like a pink grapefruit juice, which is interesting. You know what I mean? Probably, the cranberries, right? And this is what I mean. Like, winter beers are no longer just about high alcohol, high flavor, a lot of malt character. I've never heard of a sour beer being sold as like in the winter style. And you can only really say that because of the, the label, right? But it's 6.3%.
I mean, during the holidays, what better way to celebrate than adding more acid on top of the already acidic food choices that you're going to be eating during the holidays and getting acid reflux. Like
acidic?
Crazy.
What foods do you eat during the holidays that are acidic? Turkey and ham and yams and
that's what Gaviscon is for, man.
I don't know. I always get acid reflux when I eat too much during the holidays.
Yeah, well, that's probably true.
It's probably just the eating too much.
Gaviscon.
I'm
older than you. I recommend it highly.
I'm a gravy fiend.
Mm-hmm.
You are your gravy head, huh?
I'm the kind of person who has a little bit of potatoes in my gravy.
I'm trying to find the beer on their website, so indulge me in. I'm looking at their website, by the way, Prairie Artisan Ales. They have some pretty funny beer labels and some pretty funny names, man. I like it. They have a good marketing. They have a good brand going on. But anyway, maybe you guys can find it for me while I talk about this beer. But smelling it, the ginger pops out really hard, and I like that. It smells more like gingerbread than like ginger, like candied ginger or whatever, which is very interesting to me.
Ginger is that kind of a spice. If it's in there, you're gonna get it.
Yes, absolutely. I remember I did a homebrew once years ago with I caramelized ginger, and I threw it in like the secondary, and it came out really nice. It was like an English IPA kind of thing. It was really good. Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. But yeah, this you can smell the nutmeg and that ginger with the kind of malt in the background, even though it's a sour beer. I don't smell it cranberries necessarily, anything kind of like tart. Nothing that would betray the true form of this beer, which is a sour beer, supposedly. Again, I haven't tried it yet, but it doesn't smell sour. It just smells like a confectionery. But it tastes sour. Wow, what the fuck am I drinking? Wow.
It changed on you there.
It did. Well, it's. You ever watch that show? Is It Cake? You ever watch that show?
Why would I watch that kind of a show?
It's on Netflix. It's great. It's a baking competition. We love like Alice. It's our family time.
Okay, so then they blindfold people and put something under their nose.
No, that's called the game. That game is called What's in Schumann's Mouth. No, Is It Cake is they have like professional bakers and amateur bakers, whatever, and they try to make realistic looking cakes. So it's like, is it a hiking boot or is it cake? And then they have judges in the entertainment industry come and they have decoys. So they have a ski boot,
an actual ski boot,
like two or three, and that are slightly different. And then the cake one, and the celebrities have to guess, and then it's a whole thing, right?
And they have to bite into it first to know which is what.
That's what this is. It's like you smell it and you expect one thing.
That's hilarious.
And the sour flavor is an entirely different thing. And it's two beers in one. Like my brain short circuited for a second.
Whoa. Because usually, you expect some funk or some tart or sourness is a flavor component that you don't really get in your nose, but there are things that hint at the sourness when you're smelling a beer that is tart. That is, especially the spontaneously fermented ones. They have a certain aroma profile, and sometimes you can get the acetic or a little acetic and a little, hints that it's going to be quite sour or not, and then you drink it and it confirms that. This is the opposite. You did not.
No,
confectionery was your description, and it's like, okay,
yeah,
smells like a bakery product. Drink it, boom.
Yeah,
sour.
It's that cinnamon and nutmeg in the aroma that hide everything else. Because sometimes what pops through for me in a sour beer in the aroma is just the tartness of what's going on, right? The off gassing and whatever, right? It's rarely the malt, or for me, it's rarely like what's underneath it, like what the beer is, unless there's other ingredients in it. So I guess you get cinnamon nutmeg, you can hide some of that, and it does. The two do not taste the same. It's a layer, like we were talking about, at the beginning of the intro. There's a layer there that's fucking interesting, but the taste it's a little creamy, which is interesting, almost like if you took if you took the hazy aspect of beers and applied it to a sour beer. I don't want to say juicy because that's not what it is, but it is like a creamy mouthfeel, kind of soft,
a body character. Because sours tend to have very thin body, but if you have a bigger body in a sour beer, that's a game changer.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
like more like a pastry sour, like a sweeter one with more fruit juice background to it and more heft.
No. It's drier. It's more. It's dry, but it's more like a wheat beer, soft, like a wit beer, soft sweetness to it, but sour.
Okay.
It's really weird and interesting. The tartness is very grapefruit. It's a little too acidic for me. A little too sour grapefruit to me. But
okay, JP, I don't care what you say, but you're a beer judge. You could judge in competitions if you want to. You should come judge the World Cup of Beer with us this
100%.
year. And just do it because
I just don't want to.
I'm not even. Neither one of us is tasting this beer with you, but we know what that beer tastes like just by talking to you.
I appreciate that. That
Don't
makes me
short
feel
sell
good.
yourself.
I'm
not trying to make you feel good or blow smoke up your ass. You just
first of all, you
by
should
you
try
telling
it.
me.
I'm not trying that.
Yeah.
Look,
by you telling me what this tastes like,
Cooper,
I can picture it.
Cooper, I'm married. I don't get told what I do well anymore, so I appreciate it.
Yeah.
But also, I just don't. Beer judging isn't for me. I tried a couple times. I don't enjoy it. I don't like it.
That's probably because the assholes you have to work with, like us. And
probably, I like this better. So I remember, and I became a beer judge specifically so I could figure out if I was talking shit about beer judges or what I was saying was actually like real. And turns out I was talking a lot of shit. And I love being a beer judge, and I love having that experience under my belt, and I love the way that it has changed the way that I can like fundamentally approach beer. But but the act of judging the beer is too much for me. I don't want to. I just don't want to do it. Yeah, it's 12 beers in a row. Because for me, after the beer 4 or 5, it's hard. I get fuzzy.
Oh yeah, fatigue will set in.
Yeah, and so it's not my thing. It's for other people, and I encourage it, and I think everybody should do it. So
Fair
I don't
enough.
have
but
to.
When you come judge my competition, we'll put you on a really light table with styles that you like.
Well, we'll talk about it.
Good people, you'll be fine.
We'll see.
It's funny.
Maybe. So I can do it remote. I'll do it.
Prairie brews in Oklahoma City now, but
okay.
Are we? I'm having internet problems again.
God damn it, Shar. Get a LAN cable. Wire into the fucking router. Because every time you drop off, it splits your audio. So I'm going to have like 5 audio files to download for you.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, back to the beer. I like it. There's a little bit of like the wheat beer and the cranberry kind of like have this almost like tart watermelon thing. I don't know. I get like thinking watermelon.
Huh.
This is a fucking interesting beer. If you are into beers like this, try it, please.
You said the cranberry wasn't much in the nose, but is it in the
no? It's
flavor
nothing. Yes.
A bit?
Yeah. Well, I think that's where some of that over tartness comes from.
Yeah.
Where it's like you get the sour bugs, but then you get the cranberry too, right?
That is a super tart fruit. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and if you have enough to like make the color pink grapefruit, it's probably a lot in there.
Like when they sell cranberry cocktail, it's really like maybe 13% cranberry juice and grape and apple, everything else. And it's like, it's plenty tart and cranberry enough to think, it screams cranberry, but it's just a tiny amount of that fruit.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But I think it's a well-made beer. The cloudy is a word I'm using, is a word that comes to mind for like the kind of malt flavor, that juicy hazy thing that I was talking about.
Okay.
There's something there, and I don't know, maybe there's like yeast in suspension or whatever. I don't know. I mean, it is a little murky.
It did look very it wasn't like completely opaque, but there was some maybe some fruit matter in there that's in suspension too.
Yeah.
It's a very juice like beer. Not juicy, but juice like, right?
Yeah.
What you're describing.
I think it's fascinating. This would be really good if you're on one, if you're cruising and you're drinking some beers, but you still want to have like a Christmas beer theme or a holiday beer theme. This would be a good 4th, 5th beer.
And get some vitamins in the process. It's probably chock full of vitamin C, just ready for the next 3 or 4.
But just kind of wedge this one in because it still has the spices, and you don't want to like drink a bunch of ales and then or lagers and then drink a sour beer and then go back to that. But I think the spices will kind of hold that together, so it's not going to really fuck your palate up too much. Or maybe this might be a nice nightcap, might be a nice ender where it's like, all right,
okay,
we've done through all this shit, because you kind of want to end on like the higher malty sweet beers. You throw this down, you still get some of those spices, but you also you refresh the palate. You scrape the crystals off your palate.
So we're calling it Bender and Ender beer, right?
Bender and Ender, baby. That's it. That's it.
All right. Okay. Sorry.
There's a lot of jokes in there. Yeah, I like it. It's good. I enjoy it. I got 3 more. Maybe I'll share them with you when we share beers again.
You're gonna pound them all tonight. I know it.
That's right. And I'm gonna go driving.
Make sure you got your antacid.
That's a smart idea right there.
I like it. It's good. I have never had a beer quite like this. But on their website, they say it's like consistently their most highest rated beer ever year, which I wish breweries would stop saying that shit. Like, can we stop with the fucking beer ratings, please, for the love of God?
Yeah.
Thank you.
We can.
I would appreciate that. Because you know what? Also, the beer ratings are so tight. Such a tight thing. If we could make it out of 100, I think it would be a little bit more beneficial. But we make it 3 out of 5, and that fucking sucks. Even though they're like divided like 3.4, that doesn't mean anything. But if you look at like, I'm on a rant now. If you look at like Rotten Tomatoes or whatever,
right? That's a 100-point scale.
It's a 100-point scale,
it
right?
It means something.
But
humans can't rate something on 100 points. They can rate on like 1 to 3 or 1 to 5. They can't rate on 1. Most humans cannot rate on 1 to 100.
See, and I guess that's what I'm saying. It's because that's kind of meaningless. Because what does 61% mean to you? I mean, if we're talking school, it's a
3 out of 5, right? 6 out of 10, yeah.
Right. So you go 61 or 63% audience score. Would you still see a movie that's 63% audience score?
Okay.
Maybe.
But would you drink a beer that's 2 out of 5? No.
No.
We also know that Brian Shark can like ping a 38-point beer at a certain style.
Dude, my man called that shit. He was Babe Ruth.
I'm like in the Marvel Cinematic Universe with beer judging guys. Seriously.
My man was Babe Ruth sauntering up to the plate and calling his shot and fucking nailing it, and then, sucking his own dick.
The other ones don't matter. The first one is what mattered. And I got that 100%. I shocked myself.
See, you are like, this is how people still fall for psychics. Because they don't remember any time that anybody was wrong. They just remember the one time you were right. This is it. So now everyone's going to think that this is your legacy now, right? Have we taken 2 breaks?
Think I'm the beer whisperer or something.
Something like that. Burper. Yeah. We've taken 1 break, right? So this will be our second. Let's take our second break. We'll come back. Let's drink this cider, and then let's go. I don't know. What do you think? Mainly because I got to piss. All right. Hang on, everyone. It's Dr. Homebrew. We'll be right back.
Dr. Homebrew, please report to the ER for code blue. Dr. Homebrew to the ER, please. Oh, and your tea time has been moved to 2:30.
All right, thanks for sticking around, everybody. We are back. We're going to wrap things up here with another cider, with another Two Towns cider, as a matter of fact. It's called Outsider, and it's in a tall boy format. I'm sure there's other formats out there, I would imagine. Maybe not. But this is unfiltered hard cider. It's a 5% made with Jonah Gold apple. I think it's important. What I like about Two Towns is they kind of they use different apples. They're really trying to get more modern version of different kinds of ciders. Wow, look at this. This is like
a craft.
This is like light. It's very light yellow, but there's kind of like a pink, like a very light blush.
Was there a fruit addition to that, or is that the apple skin?
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think there's a rugged and fresh outsider isn't afraid of taking the trail less traveled.
Yeah.
No, I guess it's just Jonah Gold apples, which I've never heard of before.
I'm not a giant fan of the cider with the fruit added. I like just the apples as the fruit.
Same.
And
absolutely.
that's the skin is going to give you a pinkish character depending how they make it.
Oh, this is delicious. This
okay. Is quite.
Oh, I should have gotten that.
You should. It's great. It reminds me of the European ciders that I really enjoy. Low ABV.
It's like you taste the fruit of the apple. It's like taking a bite out of an apple with a little alcohol mixed in.
That's
like
what I want.
French or Basque or Spanish ciders that are so good. A little sour.
You know what we should do? I would love to be able to find a good, reputable source for European ciders besides just whatever the fuck might be happening at Total Wine or Bevmo. But I would love to go to do like a tasting flight on this show about European ciders, like French. Like the best cider to date I've ever had is Aspal French cider. It is really fucking phenomenal. It's very expensive, but it's so good.
AB InBev might have bought them. But
that sucks.
we should. Yeah, I'm for probably in San Francisco or Oakland somewhere. They've got that, or Berkeley. We should go check that out and do a live show.
Well, I don't know about a live show, but yeah, I mean, I think it'd be good. Like if you guys are out, because you guys go farther in the Bay Area than I do. If you're out and you see a bunch of them, yeah, well, you know, buy several bottles and we'll like do it just to anticipate.
Or, we could be friends and go somewhere and have.
I don't go anywhere.
Cider
dude.
as friends and to be nice.
We are friends. I don't go anywhere. I'm not. I don't go anywhere. Actually, I go to the 2-1-A. That's where I go. I go to the 21st Amendment. But anyway, I digress. So Jonah Gold apples they're like bright red with a little streak of yellow every now and then. And that's it. Okay, here's the thing. Oh, actually, they do have details. I was about to go off on like say, hey, if you produce a fucking product, put more information on your website other than just what's on the can for idiots like me looking it up. But they do have it. They have more details. Northwest grown Jonah Gold, known for their big and juicy floral character. This apple was bred in New York in the 1950s by crossing Jonathan and Golden Delicious. So most of these are grown in the Willamette Valley. It's a higher acid apple. Tasting notes and pairings. Hazy, unfiltered, light straw color. Yeah, for sure, dude. Yeah, I get that. Fresh harvest apple character. Intense, juicy apple aroma. Tropical fruit, floral. I don't get tropical fruit. I don't really get floral. I get like just apple juice, which sounds stupid, but like a tartness in the aroma.
I can see the tropicaliness a little bit. It's not like, you know,
in the way that like passion fruit can be tart.
It's like, like the edge of a passion fruit, or a little, a little.
Balanced, semi-sweet, easy drinking, not cloying or syrupy. Sweetness comes 100% from fresh juice, no added sugar.
Mm-hmm.
This is probably one of the cleaner like American ciders I've had in a long time. Like it tastes. This is a direct representation of the fruit. It's awesome. This is great.
A lot of the ciders that I get are generally just too dry, and you know, this has a little sweetness to present with the apple.
They're too dry and they're too high alcohol. Like if you're giving me a dry cider at like 7%, I'm gonna punch you in the dick. I don't want that. Like nobody wants, because you're basically giving me the cider equivalent of vodka or whatever. I don't know. I just don't like it. Like, but I drink for different reasons. I want to have the expression of the apple. I want to drink the juice. I want to enjoy that. I'm not trying to get drunk. Drunk is just a byproduct.
Right.
That's me. I don't know. They have a pairings list. You wanna talk pairings real fast?
Yeah, sure.
Mild cheddar. Not sharp, but mild. Pork. Okay. Blue cheese. Which that betrays the mild cheddar part. Like
mild cheddar, but blue cheese.
Which, by the way, there's these. You guys who both have Trader Joe's near you. There's these fucking chips. They're Irish potato chips made with blue cheese. If you like blue cheese the way I like blue cheese, these are your new favorite chips. Go buy them.
I'll try those out sometime.
Awesome. They're amazing.
Huh.
And then turkey.
Okay.
They have recipes. 2 Towns Winter Warmer. What the fuck is this, dude? What are these guys doing? Okay, here we go. Okay. You want to have a cocktail? Let's have a cocktail, motherfucker. 1/4 cup whole milk. Okay, you take that. You take 1 tablespoon of light brown sugar. 1.5 tablespoons of vanilla extract. 6 ounces of 2 Towns Outsider. Grated nutmeg to garnish. Whipped cream. So you heat the milks together with sugar and vanilla in a small saucepan, whisking until frothy and steaming. You stir in the cider and continue cooking for 1 more minute. Pour into a coffee mug, top with whipped cream, and garnish with nutmeg or a cinnamon stick. Sounds like a spiced.
Sounds like a lot of work.
It sounds like a spiced ale. Sounds great. Yeah. I'll fucking try that shit all day long, dude. And they have a cranberry walnut stuffing that I'm not gonna go through.
Okay.
Okay, so it does say in the ingredients, it doesn't say this on the can, but on the website, it says fresh pressed Jonah Gold apples and other
Malic
Northwest
acid.
varieties.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this just says Northwest apple juice, malic acid, and sulfite on the can.
So, and I'm not hinting that they're hiding anything by any means, but I did find that interesting where it's
just Jonah Gold.
Not just Jonah Gold, yeah, stuff. Which I get. I mean, you're making this with. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, you're making this at in mass, at scale.
You make Chardonnay with malic acid, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's
it's a great cider.
Humboldt Cider Company up north. They do one. It's called Gravenstein, and they do a lot of varietal stuff. They also do like dry hop ciders, and they make a lot of ciders like this too. I think I see them more at Bevmo and different places too, popping up in the Bay Area. But I go up to Humboldt County quite often, and I've gone to their tasting room, and they have skee ball in there. It's a nice little tasting room, but you get little samplers, and it's quite good. So we could have some of their stuff sometime too.
Yeah.
Two Towns, I'm impressed with this one. They've been around for a long time. I remember seeing their pomegranate cider at a lot of pubs. And stuff.
They're right there in Corvallis. So if you're going through Oregon for your anniversary, man, definitely stop by.
It sounds like a plan.
Yeah,
sounds cool.
I love it. I think it's great. I think this would be a perfect thing. And you know what? There's enough meatiness to the body where you could probably go from this to a beer. And you normally wouldn't want to do that with a cider. But I think you could. I think this could carry. I think you'd be all right. Maybe you need an extra sip to like readjust your mouth pH. But
now pitch this as a holiday drink, though, like I did with the IPA. So blatantly wrong, but
you know what? I'll tell you what. There's with these apples and the yeast that they use, there are kind of hints of the cinnamon, nutmeg, kind of softer, allspice kind of characters to it. Where if I didn't tell you, and maybe it's because it's a little room temperature now, but I could convince you that this was more apple pie flavored cider than it was normal cider. There is a very good. How am I doing? Am I doing all right? Am I doing good? It's true. I think that there is more spice notes that are coming out of this than you would normally recognize.
Right. There's a depth to it that's not necessarily an overt spice, but it's like a light, like how wine has tannins in it. This has some form of a little phenolics in it, probably as a part of the flavor profile, and that blends as and that's maybe why spices work with apple pie. That this has a little bit of that, and the spices would twist it another way. But right now, it's just kind of
having never eaten this apple before. You know how sometimes apples, I think it's like a Golden Delicious. If you let it either sit too long, you have a bad Golden Delicious, and it's kind of mealy. Where like it kind of crumbles in your mouth. It doesn't
instead of crisply.
Yeah, like that. Sometimes those flavors to me can kind of taste what I'm tasting here. And I'm not saying that they use inferior apples, but I'm saying like there is something in those apples that aren't pure white inside that are kind of like golden. That I think when the flavors kind of mature, when they're ripe enough, that you can kind of get some of those spice notes in them. I don't know. I've maybe it's the skin, maybe it's the tannin in the skin combined with the different flavors and the juices. But this is so you could pass this off as a spiced ale for sure, or a spice.
We're grasping at spices here, but yeah, you could serve it warmed too. That would be another thing.
Well, that's what I read that recipe of.
Right,
you heat that shit up.
Heat that stuff up.
I love it. All right, well, I think that's it. I think we're good to go. I had a lot of fun. I thought this was fun. If you hated this show, please keep listening. But also, more importantly, email Brian at thebrewingnetwork.com and send us your beer. Send us your homebrew.
Send us actual homebrew.
Actual homebrew. Send us fermented things of your choice, whatever they are. Beer, wine, sake, mead, kombucha, soy sauce, fucking kimchi. Whatever you want. Kimchi, anything you want. Karen-chi, who cares? Whatever you want. Send it to us. And if we can't figure out how to properly taste it and judge it and give you feedback, we will find the people who can do that, and we'll bring them on and we can do this whole thing. So we are kind of a traveling feedback of information for you. BJZP score sheet feedback, a live version, AI, regulated monstrosity of things or something like that. I don't really know.
Right. And if you don't feed us outside feedback, we turn into a feedback loop and it just gets ugly. It gets uglier from here. Trust me.
Yeah, it gets worse, man. I don't know. Next we'll be sampling personal lubricants and talking about those and see what else we can do,
Astroglide. That's good stuff right there.
See, there you go. That's what I'm saying.
4 out of 5 right there.
Yeah, anyway, so check it out. Brian at thebrewingnetwork.com. Email the boy, get on the show, and we'll give you feedback. And then, like I said, we're also going to start kind of announcing, more larger homebrew competitions around the country.
We'll do better at that.
Yeah, because I think that it's really important for us, and it's really important for you. We want to get people involved in the community. It's not just about getting feedback for competitions, but if you don't know of the competitions that are around, well, then it's hard to enter. You know what I mean? So, yeah, look forward to that as well, too. And you can also go to bjcp.org. I think they have like a kind of a rolling calendar of what's coming up. And I think it's worldwide, too. I was just on there looking up the cider, the cider things or whatever, whatever they are. Can't think of the word.
Well, so, yeah.
And there's like one in Turkey coming up next week or the week after.
January 25th, there's something called Winterbrew 2025 in Chicago, Illinois.
See?
And the entry deadline is January 10th. You could enter that one.
Yeah. So there you go. So go to bjp.org for now. And then, like I said, we'll be highlighting some of these on future shows. So email Brian at thebrewingnetwork.com. Get your ass on the show, please. It's a lot of fun. Thank you very much. And you know what? I just want to say before we take off, thank you to you guys for listening to the show and participating in any way you can. Even if you don't send us beer, you listen to the show, and I do appreciate that. It helps keeps us going. It justifies to Justin why we still deserve to send him the bill for these beers and and do this kind of stuff. Yeah. It's we've been doing this for a very long time.
Everyone that listened sent 10 cents to get JP to England, it would work. We could get him there.
Yeah, 100%. That's right. Yeah. Venmo me
if everyone who ever listened flipped a dime our way, he would go to England.
That's right.
Sure. 100%. Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, let's pretend that's the case.
It could be reality. Venmo 10 cents to JP at thebrewingnetwork.com.
That's not it.
That's not a right thing.
No,
sorry.
It's not it. That's all right. Anyway, I appreciate you guys for listening. Thank you very much. And to my lovely co-host here, thank you guys for putting up with all this. I know we do a lot of shows on the fly lately, but I think we figured it out. I think I'm okay with it if you guys are all right with it.
I was not unhappy with the selections, and there were a lot of selections.
So am I.
Like Brian, I'm starting to, even though I ate and he didn't, I'm starting to get a slight buzz.
I'm pretty drunk right now.
I know. Well, you're sitting here rating
I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
I pretty much finished the Winter Welcome Ale. This is the last of it here, and I will finish that. It was very good. That was the surprise, the sneaker of the night for me. I was
nice.
I'm just going to keep drinking it.
I'm going to have to start buying more Sam Smiths again. It's been a while.
I know.
That's the problem with so many beers.
That's great beer, man.
Yeah, the problem with so many beers on the market. Like, there's just so many good ones, and you're like, and you kind of forget,
But they're still around.
You never forget how great Sam Smith is.
I'm telling you, I'm going to try that. You can reach out to them. Or first, I'm going to start with Jamil because he knows everybody over there, and I want to see if he has a connect at Sam Smith to really lock in a good interview. Maybe we can do that again, where we have to wake up early on a Sunday and
where the three of us could.
I'm okay with that.
Concord,
I'm okay with getting up early on Sunday to have an interview with Sam Smith or somebody.
Dude,
that's amazing.
Yeah, I would love that. All right,
we have to stop cursing, but yeah.
Let's get out of here.
I'll monitor my language.
Let's get out of here. Thank you guys, everybody. See, I'm drinking a lot. I hope you guys had a good Christmas. Hope you guys had a good holiday, whatever holiday you celebrate. I hope it was great to you, and hope you guys have a fantastic 2025, and we will be there right alongside you, picking the weirdest beer from beverages and more. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate you.